So you think we need one more? You think we need one more? What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm your host, PBO, and you're joining me on another edition of Top 4 plus one more. That's right, folks. This is our Top 4 plus one more, our top list. What are we topping? Well, we're topping everything. Writers, directors, movies, franchises, rap songs, maybe Drake music, I don't know. Tease. We'll figure it out. We're going to do some tops of everything. Well, what are we doing today? Well, we got Mission Impossible Fallout. So that made me thinking. Let's do some spy movies. Yeah, here's top 4 plus one more spy movies. All right, so let's get into this top 4 plus one more spy movies. At number 4, just like the title, I got Spy Game. That's right, folks, 2001 Spy Game. Directed by Tony Scott, starring Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. What says in the title? It's Spy Game. Actually, this is a great movie. This takes place at, it seems like Langley, CIA, I think it's Langley, yeah. And it's the last day of a spy. He's basically retiring. And one of his cohorts, the one he's been mentoring, the Brad Pitt character, is been caught. And on his last day, Robert Redford character figures out a way to free his caught apprentice while no one else at Langley could know because he's doing it all behind. And it's this great, great self-contained spy movie where no one even leaves the building. Yeah, Brad Pitt's on assignment, but Robert Redford never leaves Langley, and he completely does his whole spy thing on his last day and frees his friend so that he doesn't get killed. I mean, it is a great, great story. The late, great Tony Scott directed it. Absolutely amazing. Check it out, folks. At number 3, I got 2002, The Bourne Identity. That's right, the first and the brand new kind of spin-offs of Mission Impossible, directed by Doug Liman, starring Matt Damon and Franca Pottier. We have The Bourne Identity. This is Matt Damon's turn into the spy world, and he kind of gives us updated kind of mixture of Ethan and James Bond, where he's kind of a systematically trained assassin since he was young. Basically, Matt Damon was put in this program and basically created. And he was given this identity of Jason Bourne, and he's got the same kind of thing. He's kind of like an Ethan Hunt, where he goes around and he's an assassin, he systematically takes out things, and he's designed to, sneak in and out of things, disrupt governments, the whole deal. Well, in this first turn, I mean, Matt Damon is absolutely amazing in the first one. You get just a little bit of his backstory, and it's more about him trying to figure out who the heck he is and remember what's going on. It's a great, great entry. It's my favorite one on the first one. It does go a little Halloween. You get Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Ultimatum, and then they decided, just like Mission Impossible, we're going to go get Jeremy Renner, and we're going to make him the new Bourne, and that thing sucked. So they went right back to Matt Damon, and instead of giving another name, they just called it Bourne. And my favorite line of all times is in all these Bourne movies, oh my God, that's Jason Bourne. Never gets better than that, folks. All right. And now my wild card of the week. And my wild card of the week is a classic from 1992 called Sneakers. That's right, folks. Directed by Phil Alden Robinson. Starring again Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, and the late River Phoenix. This movie is awesome. This takes place in San Francisco, and you have a bunch of low-level con men who are real good at all their different cons, and they run this company, and they end up working for some other individual who happens to have them sneak in and steal this box. Well, this is pre-internet, and this box basically can decrypt and debug any computer system, and they can physically break into anything. Airports, power grids, anything, you name it, they can break into it. So the whole movie is them stumbling across something they shouldn't have, and then them trying to figure out a way to get this to the government and get away from the dude that's trying to take it for them without them dying. Great movie. Go check it out. Coming in at number 2, folks, I got Mission Impossible. Yeah, that's right, 1996 Mission Impossible, directed by Brian De Palma, starring John Voight, Tom Cruise, Emily Bernhardt, and Vin Rames. If you want to hear a complete breakdown, folks, I got one right here. I love Mission Impossible. It's my favorite one of the bunch. I think the first one out was the best one they did. It's a tight movie. My second favorite is Rogue Nation. And without further ado, coming in at number 1 on the top 4 plus one more spy movies, I got 2006 Casino Royale. That's right, folks. I picked Casino Royale. Now you're wondering, of all the Bond movies. Why did I pick Casino Royale? Well, let me explain to you. I was born 1979. Told you my age. There you go. Well, in the 80s, Bond was Timothy Dalton. Yeah, he stunk. Because when I was old enough to start watching Bond, Sean Connery was gone, Roger Moore was gone, and I got started with Timothy Dalton, and then I got Pierce Brosnan. And as good as Pierce Brosnan was in GoldenEye, it wasn't amazing. I mean, then he did The World Is Not Enough with that horrible surfing. Oh my God, he was... The cars, just horrible CGI. I mean, just absolutely horrible. At the same time all this was going on, Mission Impossible came in, knocked Bond out of the way, and that sort of climbing to the top. But then, when Pierce Brosnan's contract ended, they went and got a young Daniel Craig at this time. I know, you say young, but he was young. And he brought back Bond in a different way. He brought back a rugged Bond. A violent Bond. A Bond that had to use his hands more. More in the vein of Ethan in Bourne Identity. And man, was my mind blown. That first Casino Royale takes from the classic Bond stories from Ian Fleming, but it puts a little kicker onto it with that violence and hands-on intensity that Daniel Craig brings, and less of that etiquette and more of that street brawler that I completely love. Now, Spectre was mess, Skyfall was great, and we'll figure out on the Bond 25 if he can finish it off nice. But for me, Casino Royale is the way to go, folks. All right. I'd like to thank you all for joining me on the Top 4 plus one more. Casino Royale is still the best, and that's what I'm sticking with, folks. Until next time, guys. Good night, Ted.